Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Welcome to the Skolo Online YouTube channel. In this channel, we make videos on learning web development, learning web application development, e-commerce development, digital marketing. If you're new to this channel, please feel free to subscribe. You'll find the subscribe button at the bottom of the video that you're watching right now, that red button over there. Please subscribe so that you will always be informed and you'll get notifications every time we set up a new video in this channel. We have new videos on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. Also, like this video and leave me a comment below, and I will try to get to each and every single comment that is made on this video. Another useful feature that we have on our videos is at the bottom inside the description box. If you expand the description of the video, you will see we've got timestamps to interesting sections in the videos that we're making, because we make a lot of long videos, so you don't have to watch the entire video. You can just read through the timestamp and read about the section that you're interested in, and you can just click on that timestamp and it will take you exactly to that section, and you can just watch that section. And it's also useful in future. If you return, you can just go to the timestamp and click on the section that you want to watch again. And also in the description below, guys, we've got links to our social media channels: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Please follow us there as well. We sometimes output information in there, and let's start learning. In this video, I'm going to show you something really interesting. If you are a small business owner, or you are a developer that develops software or websites for small businesses, at one point or another, you would have come through the requirement of needing accounting software. What accounting software is, it is software that allows your business to process invoices, expenses, and keep all your records that involves accounting in one place. It is a feature that all businesses use, and businesses have got software from, we're talking anything from QuickBooks to more advanced accounting software, depending on what your requirements are, with different levels of automation and different levels of record keeping. Now, I just wanted to show you, before I show you this free accounting software, what is currently available. Majority of most people that I know today use a QuickBooks to manage their accounting. And QuickBooks is not free. If you go to their website, currently it looks like they're running some sort of special where for 30 days you can get it up to 90% off, and you'll be paying only about, if you look at the pricing, 36 rands. This is about 10% of what you normally pay. But keep in mind, this is a special that is running for only 3 months, which means after 3 months, you will go back to paying that 346 rand a month for accounting software. And the things that you get is your income, expenses, invoices, tracking your VAT, reports, currencies, and you can only get 3 users at a time to use the QuickBooks software. I'm going to show you an alternative that does everything that QuickBooks does and more, and you will not be limited to 3 users. You can have as many users as you want in your organization. The software is open source, which means the code is available online for anybody to implement in their own setting. So what I'm going to show you is the implementation of that code in your own virtual private server. And the accounting software that I'm talking about is called Accounting with a K. So you can head over to their website and read about all the features that they have available. Okay, so you can do your cash flow, you can do your invoicing, your expenses, your reporting, your transactions, your client portal, which means clients can also log in to view their invoices and pay you directly from your website. And you can email them invoices on a regular basis. And there is up to 150,000 people or installations of this globally, worldwide. It's being used in all these different countries, and it has our contributors who work on this on a regular basis, updating the software, so you don't have to worry about software getting out of date. There's a huge community behind it that support this, and all this is available for you to use for free for the rest of your life. You can install it now, no obligation. I think the only catch is that on it will have the thing at the bottom that says powered by accounting, which most developers do anyway, leaving their brand off your website. But other than that, it is free for the most part. Now, to be able to install a software like this, the code is available for free, yes, right? But you have to take that code and install it somewhere, and you need to install it in a server, and the server is not going to be available for free. So the server you must provide the server where the installation is going to happen. And you have a couple of options here. If you have your own organization or company server, you can download the software and install it there. I'm going to show you in this video how to install this off a DigitalOcean server. And for that, we can head over to DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean is a supplier of cloud-based solutions, including virtual private servers. They have these things they call a droplet, all right? And you can buy one for up to $5 a month. And you can then install your software and all sorts of things that you want to do in there, including a website, so you could buy the server once and do multiple things on it. You could do this accounting software. You could also do a website. You could do a lot of things in one server, by the way. That will cost you $5, but obviously $5, that's a smaller server. Maybe you're going to be limited by space. But the point I'm trying to make here is that, the server is sort of flexible. It can allow you to do a lot of things. I'm going to put the link in the description below from DigitalOcean, where if you use my affiliation link, I have to declare it's an affiliation link, you will get $100 sort of discount on your purchase, which means for the first 3 months of you utilizing the server, if your bill goes over $100, you will get that added into your account for free. And then 3 months after, depending on which one gets finished first, the 3 months or the $100, then you have to start paying after that. But it is definitely enough time for you to test it out and decide if it's the correct server for you. Other alternatives to working with cloud solutions is things like your Microsoft Azure and and a lot of those like IBM platforms, and there's a lot of those cloud-based solutions that big organizations use. And I've done a lot of shopping around, and I have experienced a lot of them, and they've got all their pros and cons. But one of the reasons why I have stuck with DigitalOcean is their affordability and their flexibility in working with entrepreneurs. So the ability to be able to cancel anytime, no contracts, no tying down, that is really nice for a small business. Even for a startup, or you're building a minimum viable product, you don't know if it's going to work out or not. The last thing you need is some sort of contract with paying 10 grand a month on these big, Microsoft platforms, So the affordability of DigitalOcean is definitely very, very attractive, and the flexibility that it allows you. So head over there to the link in the description. Get yourself started with your few $100 and test it out and see whether or not you like it. And the next thing that I really like about it as well, over and above the flexibility of paying monthly, is that you also have the flexibility of trying out different products. And if you don't like something, you can just remove it. Like I have a droplet here that I installed. If I don't like it, I can just remove this droplet and destroy it, and then I won't be charged for it. And the amount gets added to your account on a daily basis. So I'm on a $5 a month droplet. They add the amounts daily. If I only use it for 10 days, I won't pay the full $5. I'll only pay for the 10 days. Okay, so enough sales for DigitalOcean. Let's get started with the work that we're trying to achieve here. So what we're going to be doing, in summary, we're going to take this accounting software that is absolutely free and open source, and we're going to install it on this droplet that is being run on DigitalOcean. Now, the next thing, I said two things. The third thing that I really love about DigitalOcean is that they do have a marketplace of applications where some of these applications are provided with one-click installations for people that are not technically savvy, or people that just want it to be done simply. And you don't have to do a lot of the back end work yourself in setting things up with like containers and all sorts of things. You can they have created images where they will just it will be installed automatically for you. You can just select that's the application that you want installed, and it is done automatically for you, and you just get started. And I'm going to show you this in the next 10 minutes, and you will see how simply it is basically to get started. You would head over here and click create. So you are going to create a new droplet. Once you click on create a new droplet, it will take you to this page where you can select the kind of droplet you want to install. Instead of the normal method of going down here and setting up your droplet, instead we are going to go to the marketplace. This accounting software is available on the DigitalOcean marketplace, which means you can buy directly from there and use the one-click install, and the server will be completely customized and built for that application that you're trying to run for you. Right, so they have what they call the one-click installation. When you get here, this is the ones they love. So you can do one-click installation on WordPress. By the way, you can have a WordPress server done for you, but that's not what we're going to be doing today. You can also have Playsk, by the way. This is really amazing. Even cPanel if you're running like a business. But what I'm going to look for here is I'm going to say see all marketplace applications instead. And then I will browse through all of them to look for the accounting software. Once you get here, there it is, right? You'll see all the popular ones are the ones you see at the top, and clearly people love WordPress, so it's like right at the top. But we're going to scroll down because we're not trying to do WordPress. We're going to see all categories. And when we get to all categories, over here, you will see the different categories that they have within the applications, right? So you have, one-click installs from, Kubernetes, e-commerce applications, e-learning. I think we've done an LMS in the past. There's a lot of things you can choose from, but we're going to go with business apps because our accounting software is included under business apps. And then you can see all the business apps that are available. I'm going to try some of these ones in the future, but today I want to show you accounting. So I think we have to scroll down a little bit more until we find accounting. There it is. It's almost at the end. And then we're going to click on see details so we can get more information on this installation before we do. So this is provided with a one-click installation, right? If you go into the details, you will see everything that's going to be installed in the droplet for you, okay? They will include the accounting software and everything else that supports that accounting software, including Certbot, which helps with installation of SSL certificates. So all of that will be pre-configured for you, including the versions that's required in here. And all you have to do is to do the one click, and then all of that gets done for you. And then once you have done the one click, then you will need this mycompany.com. So just keep in mind your email address that you'll be using to log in. It's my@company.com. And then once you've done that, I'm just going to click over there to create the droplet. So what's happening now is that in the background, it's going over there. Okay, it's not, it hasn't installed it yet. Sorry. We're right here where we have to select the kind of, functionalities and size that we will be purchasing for, because obviously you can, depending on the size of the SSD that you require, you're going to pay different amounts. But I'm going to go with basic. I'm going to go with the regular Intel SSD over there, not the premium one. All right, and then over here it's different prices for different sizes. So you have 1 gig, one CPU, 2 gig, one CPU, 2 gig, 2 CPUs. You have up to 8 gig, 4 CPUs. If I give you an idea, 8 gigs, 4 CPUs, and 5 terabyte, 160 bytes SSD is typically a small laptop. Right, so a small laptop will have up to 160 gig SSD, so it's sufficient. It depends on the kind of size of space that you want. I'm not going to use this droplet for anything else except the accounting software. So based on the number of documents I think I'm going to be receiving and everything else, maybe I'll integrate CRM into it later on in the future. I can do other things, but I think 160 gigs is a lot of space. I don't need all of that space. So I'm going to go with the smallest one, which is actually 25 gigs. And nice thing about DigitalOcean as well is that it will allow you to upgrade over time. So if later on I have so many invoices that I need more space, you can upgrade it. But if you're a small business, maybe a couple of hundreds of clients, not in the thousands, and maybe you're doing only like 20, 30 invoices a month, 25 gigs is quite sufficient space. And you're not going to have 100 people logging into that application at the same time. The other thing why you require a lot of transfer over here as well is if you're building like a SaaS software where you're going to have 1,000 users per month, yes, you're going to need a lot of space and a lot of transfer. But within a small organization, maybe you have 100, 200 employees that are going to be logging in there. That is not a lot. That is a very small number in the application space. So you don't need a lot of space for that. And with that set, I'm going to select the location. I'm based in South Africa, so I will go for London because I think it's closest time zone that I have with this. And then I'm going to choose that. And then I have SSH keys, yes. So this is already connected to my SSH keys I've installed in the past. And here you definitely want to select SSH keys. I've done a video in the past where I showed you how to set up your droplet the first time, which includes how to get the SSH keys done, how to get them firewall up and running, how to disable password login. This is very, very important. Those 3 things are the 3 requirements in setting up a secure virtual server. When you work off your computer at home, like your MacBook or whatever it is, your computer is set at home, and if you're disconnected from the internet, only you can access it. But if you're working off a virtual server, the server is sitting in the cloud. It's sitting over here in this location in London, and you access it using the login with your password or the SSH keys. However, if you have disabled the password login, it means anybody in the 7 billion people in this earth that have your password can log into your virtual server. And you know, nowadays it's very simple for me to just put together a brute force attack password thing, which will just run and test all the possible combinations of passwords until it finds the right one. So a password hack is not a matter of if, it's just a matter of how long it's going to take somebody to hack your password. And based on how complicated your password is, it might take them anything from a couple of hours to a couple of days to a couple of weeks, but eventually they will crack it. Therefore, the best thing to do is to completely disable the password login and use SSH keys, which are much, much harder to crack, and in fact almost impossible if the person does not have the key. It will take them a lifetime to try all the possible combinations of SSH keys that are available. Now, once you've done that, check the video we've done in this channel. You can get started, and I like to also change over here Skolo Online and just give it a name instead of that long thing that's going to be hard to remember. And then over there we're going to enable the backups, and then we're going to click on create droplet, and it's going to go ahead and create this droplet for us. So while that is happening, enable the backups. All right, why do you want to do that? If you are just testing this out, like I'm testing this out for learning purposes, maybe it's not necessary. But in a real business, especially in a development environment, you want to enable the backups. Even if it costs you $1 on top of $5, which is 20%, it is crucially important for a lot of reasons. The first one is computers will always crash. That is the norm. That is how computers operate. It is beyond the powers of even DigitalOcean itself from preventing that from happening. It will happen. So when that happens, you could lose your information if it is not backed up. That's the first thing. The second thing why you really need a backup, especially in development, and this is something I experienced in the last couple of days, is when you're developing with databases and multiple sort of things that work together. With programmers, sometimes you will have code that works just fine, and then you make a couple of changes and you're not sure what exactly you did, and then your code just like crashes. And depending on how large your code base is, you're going to struggle sometimes to find where the problem is. You know, what happened? Why is my application not just going mad? You did something, you changed something that you couldn't go back on. That's why we use version control. With Git, I'm able to go back to the last time the code worked, and I was able to do that. Oh, my code worked just fine yesterday, so I can reverse back and go and get the repo from 2 days ago. That will be fine without errors, and I'm good to go. And then I can continue and explore other things because I'm testing things that I'm writing code. But I had a problem where I had an instance where the problem was in the database. I did something, or I wrote something that I deleted a row in the database, that then later the migration started to crash because the migrations was telling it there should be a row here, but the row is no longer there. I can't re-edit because the database is completely crashed. I can't do anything until I fix that problem. So I can't like go and re-edit the thing because the migrations won't even go ahead. And I had a problem and I was stuck. And then the only solution was to completely reset my database. But because it was development, I could do that, right? But in some cases, something like this can happen where you're not, you were maybe making updates, right? And now you want to go back, right? And even if you go back with your code, the problem is in the database. Your Git is not going to reverse what is happening in the database because the database has crashed because it has a conflict with something you've done in there. Now, the way I was able to resolve it was, to work off the backups. Sometimes that's the only way you can do it. Either you're going to reset your complete database, or you're going to work off the backups so you don't lose information. So in an instance like that, backups become very, very, and there's I mean, I can give you 100 examples why you want to make sure that you have a backups for your database. Okay, so I was giving this some time for a reason, because it takes about a minute for the setup to happen. Once you've installed it, it's going to go through the list of all the things it needs to install inside of your droplet to make sure everything works well. And if you've done everything right, you can just copy this IP address over there, and you can then sorry, where was I? You can then go and do HTTP like that and paste that, and then it will allow you to log into your application. So the setup completed successfully. So over here, I'm then going to log in with that. Remember, I told you just put that in a safe place. company.com. And I think the password was, let me remember, 123654. Yeah, I think that was the password. Let's log in and see. That is the correct password, and I'm not going to save this. And then over here, once you get started, you need to provide an API key, and you can get your API key off the, there's a link over there. So I'm just going to open this in a new tab, right? And go into my dashboard. And then this is my API key that I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to copy this. And by the way, if you don't have this API key, because currently I've already created an account, the way to get started to get this API key, if you're watching this video, is go to the accounting website, which is https akaunting, akaunting. It's completely free to get the API key. They don't charge you anything. They just require you to create an account so they can keep track of all the uploads they've got. And so you would just log in there, and the first time you come in here, you can get started or create an account, and then they will send you you'll enter your email address and your names. That's all they ask. Enter your email address, your first name, your last name. That's it. And then they'll send you an email that you need to click on the link to confirm your email address. So you go over there, you click on the link. As soon as you click on the link, you can come back here and log in with the password that you created, and then boom, you will immediately come to this page, which has the API key on it. So I'm going to copy this API key, and then I will come here into my wizard, and then I will paste it over there. So once I've pasted the API key over there, I can enter my text number. I'm just going to enter a random number over there, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. My financial year end, I'll set it as 1 January, and then I will just say my address is 22 Rivonia Street in Sandton 2196, and then you can enter your logo over there if you want, and then you can save all this information. By the way, you don't have to know your text number at the beginning, because you can change these later. So what I'm going to do there, I'm going to remove all of these currencies. I'm going to leave US dollar, and then you can add a new currency if you're in South Africa, for example, and you want to be specific about the currency of your accounting application. You can put in you are in South African Rand. And then I'm going to select over here on the drop down menu or drop up menu, ZAR. Let's see what's ZAR. There it is. And then the rate to the US dollar is about 14 to the US dollar. And I'm going to say yes. Then it will create that, and then you can use that inside of your business. And then let's say next. When you get here, over here, you can add your taxes. So this is like your value added tax, and I'm going to put that and call this a VAT, and I'm going to say my VAT rate is at 15% here in South Africa, and then I'm going to say yes, so that it can calculate and incorporate VAT for you inside of your invoices. And then after that, we're going to say next. And then over here, you can have, these are additional recommended apps. So don't get startled when you come here and see prices. You don't have to pay anything. This is value add apps that you can add and stack on top of your existing app that you already have for free. So for example, if you wanted to do estimated quotations and you wanted to be able to develop quotations of your application, you could pay for this added application, and it will add that functionality for quotations on your existing, or inventory management or project management, and they all come at a different price. And by the way, these prices are fixed prices, so this is not monthly pricing like something like QuickBooks, for example. You will pay this once off and have lifetime access. Updates are not included though. I think updates you have to, if you need to update the software, you will have to rebuy for it, get it again. So the moment you go to the dashboard, you are faced with this. So this is your accounting dashboard. So from the top of the head, you already see all your income will be represented there, the expenses and everything. And you can see now you are using US dollars there because that was what was initially set up for this business. So if you want to change that, you can go to your company. At the top, then you see it's still called My Company. So you can go to manage companies, and companies are like your spaces that you operate in. And you can see over here that you have the ability to have multiple companies, which means that if you were an accountant, for example, and you were doing this accounting for like 3 or 4 different companies, you could include all of them here, and you could have 5, and there's no limitation. Right, you can have like 100. It's up to you. This is open source software. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. So I can have 100 companies and do invoicing for all of them and keep all this information in one place, no limitation. So what I'm going to do over there, I'm going to click on My Company, and I'm going to change the company name. It's not My Company, it's Skolo Online. I'm going to change my email address as well, admin@skolo.online. I'm going to change my currency to South African Rand. And then the text number I'll leave the same. The phone number I will leave the same, and I will click yes. And then once you do that, immediately you see, okay, no, I need to save first. As soon as you save, you'll see over there, it has changed to Skolo Online, and you can have another company if you wanted, but I will leave it like that. I won't add another one. I will then go to the dashboard, and this time your currency is represented in South African Rand. I think you can then remove the currencies in the settings later on and only keep the currency that you're working with. I hardly ever come across organizations that use multiple currencies unless if they're operating internationally. But if you did, then this software gives you the ability to do that. And you can see the widgets over there. You can delete any widget, edit it if you like. So if you don't like this widget, maybe you wanted it to say something else, depending on what you're tracking, you could update all of that. So already off the box, I just installed this right now. Off the box, this software, you can do sales, which is your invoices and revenue. So you can manage your invoices and revenues in one place. You can do purchases. This is if you pay for something, you can record it over here so that it can show your expenses and show your income, and then be able to calculate the profit, right? So you can do money that's coming in, money that's going out. And then you can do your banking. That's the third one, which is like it's like your balance sheet, keeping track of how much money you have in the bank, on a regular basis. So this is all you need to do accounting for a small business. If you can record the money that's going in, if you can record the money that's going out, and you can keep track of your assets and liabilities, which is what you'll manage inside your banking. If you have accounts, you will put them in there. If you have credit card accounts, you can put it as liabilities and so forth, right? But this is not an accounting lesson, okay? So I'm not going to go into too much detail. I just want to show you the capability of the invoicing, for example, and all the things you can do there. So if you go into invoices, you see currently there's no invoice over there. So I need to add a new invoice, right? So let's add a new invoice. And over here, you need to specify a customer for an invoice. And over there in your CMS, you'll see that there's customers there that you can add customers for your business. So you can add a customer there, and then that customer will be there. You can select from an existing customer. You can put your invoice date, your invoice number, your due date, your order number, if there's anything related to that you need to specify. And you'll see the red stars over here show you things that you must put in the invoice. You must specify when it's due and so forth. And then you can add items, right? So you can add an item in here and say, creating invoice software, for example, and then you can say create item. Okay, so there you go. And then you can add the description for it, the quantity and the price. So building, designing, invoicing software solutions, whatever. And then you can say this is one, and this thing cost me 5,000 rands 5,000 rands, and then that is the amount, and you can select the tax, VAT 15%, and then it will show you the added VAT that you must add in there, and then you can add another item. So you can have multiple items, and then at the end it will add everything up for you with the currency at 15%. You see how nice this is to work with. So when you're done with all of that, you can then have a footer. A footer is something like you can put in here your bank accounting details. You can say bank account details is whatever it is. You can put all your everything that you put inside your footer of a normal invoice. Things like use check account, not savings account, use this reference as your whatever when you're making payment, you can put all of that in there. And then there is the ability to do recurring. Okay, so I love this option. This is where you can say recurring or not. So if it's a recurring invoice, you could, for example, say something like monthly, it must be recurring. And you can put it under sales or whatever it is, and how many months. So maybe if it's only going to recur for 6 months, you can put that in there as well, so it limits it. And if you want to attach anything to go with the invoice, you can do all of that, and then you can save. So currently I won't be able to save because I haven't added a customer for this invoice. I must be under customers. But once you've done, that's all it's going to take. And its accounting software keeps track of you being able to then, email that invoice to the client. So if you have recurring, for example, and you can pick the date that it must recur, every day on the 25th, that invoice will go out to the client. And the customer will get that invoice on a monthly basis, and you don't have to remember. I'm usually forgetting to send invoices out. So something like this, and it's completely free, right? Would be available, and you can do all your invoices. So this is typically everything you would do on QuickBooks, right? For and save yourself this. How much is it? 3,000 rands. Let's put the annual amount. I want you to see really how much you're going to be paying for this thing, right? In a year, this is about 3,000 rands. Actually, you're going to pay more than this because you're going to pay 3,000 rands. Remember, this is a special, right? So if you pay now, you'll pay 3,000 rands at the end of the year to do all of these things that are available for free inside of accounting. And you saw me install this thing right now in front of you in the amount of time that it took to create this video, and it only cost me $5 for my server. And if you have your own server, you can use any server that you like, by the way. But DigitalOcean, you can see the one-click install. If you had to install this somewhere else where you are not installing it on DigitalOcean, for example, you might have to download the software directly off their website, which you should be able to do, and then integrate and manage it yourself. Or you can hire someone like me to come and install it for you. I will only charge you for my time, and my installation, the software itself, is available for free. Thank you guys for watching. The one last thing I want to show you, which is an add-on, and I think this is why they give this for free, because you're going to ask, why are they giving this stuff for free? It's just amazing. The reason why they give it for free is that they sell other things to you, right? So if you go under applications, there is now other applications you can integrate with the one installation. So once you've done the installation, you can just add other applications to it. So you'll see, if you're working with QuickBooks, you can actually, this is not a QuickBooks application, by the way. It's an ability to download your information off QuickBooks. So if you're doing QuickBooks and you're paying 3,000 rands a month and you want to start saving that money, you can thank me later. You can install this, and then it'll sort of like it will move your information off of QuickBooks to over here, because you don't want to now manually re-input all your invoices again. You can do it there like that there, you see. And so you can do all of that, and and manage that. For example, if you wanted to get additional software, like I was thinking about doing this, and I really want to do this later on, for employees, for example, right? For employees, you've got some software that's free, and this one, like, it's employee management. I'm going to open it in a new tab. You can install for free, but some of these like payroll, for example, you want to manage employee payroll, you're going to pay $99 for it. So that's how they make money. They have other value add software that then they'll charge you for. But again, this is also a once-off fee. You can pay it once, and then you'll have this payroll abilities, and it will be stacked on, and I'll show you how. So if you have the payroll one, like this one, the employee software, which is free, by the way, you can just click install. What it's going to do is that it's installing it on the current installation. You don't have to go and reconfigure somewhere else. The current installation that you have, they will just stack it on it. So you can stack these applications on top of each other. Now that you've installed this one, you'll see now you can even uninstall it later if you don't want it. It's been installed automatically. You will see at the top there under dashboards, you now have an HR thing that wasn't there before. You now have an HR dashboard. If I click on the HR dashboard, you'll see now employees there. And you'll see employees has also been added. Where has it been added? Sales, purchases, items, HR, yeah, it's been added under HR. There you go. And now you have employees and positions. So you can go under employees over here and you can add an employee and you can say, you know what, I'm hiring somebody new. You can put their salary over there, the date that they got hired, the bank account information and so forth, birth date, the gender, all sorts of stuff. So you can keep track of all your employee information in one place. And later on, if you wanted then to install the payroll app, for example, right? You can go into the payroll app and have a look at the payroll app. You will see with the payroll app, you can now do, pay calendars, and connect it with the employees, total payrolls. You can see all your pay slips and all sorts of things. You can pull them out of here. So this is like full business management software. Although you get the accounting part for free, if you want the other things that go with it, so then they're making money off selling you the other add-ons. But if you only wanted accounting software, that's all you wanted, it's completely free. You don't have. And by the way, another nice thing which I'm also considering to do add-on later on is CRM. I'm going to do this for a client who's been looking for CRM, is that you can also add on the CRM is also $99 US. And again, remember, these are once-off fees. So if you think about how much you're paying for things like Zoho and your Salesforces and all those kind of things, this one, it's not going to be as advanced as Salesforce or Zoho CRM, but it is going to do the basics that you need to be done in a CRM. So what do you need to keep track of your leads, your client, your customers, your your meetings, everything you do within your sales department? You want to keep track of it, your sales documents, keep track of the leads that are getting converted, keeping track of all the opportunities that are getting converted, your client accounts, and all sorts of that. All of just those basics, you can get those done here. And most small businesses, that's all they need. All the added extras that are included in these other fancy CRMs, 90% of it businesses don't really use on a day-to-day basis. What you're doing on a day-to-day basis is just keeping track of all your information in one place in an easy to manage system, so that if, let's say, one employee leaves your business and you hire a new sales manager, you can just tell, oh, this is our sales CRM, and they can go in there and they can see everything that has been happening in one place. So there's lots of add-ons that you can definitely bolt onto this. And if you installed it, it would just it will bolt on over here and you'll just have a new menu item that gets added on to do the CRM stuff. You understand? So you're going to do the installation once and you can bolt on the applications on it and do other things. And you can end up with less than, I've calculated adding the CRM and the payroll, which most businesses need. And the other thing that I wanted to add was the project management thing. In total will be 300. The project management, tasks, managing all of that. In total, that will cost me about $300 US. Once off. I'll pay that once off. That's it. I'll pay it and it's done. And $300 US is close to what? Maybe 5,000 rands. Once off is not a lot of money. To do that, to have that paid once off, compared to the amount of money that people are paying for things like, Salesforce out there today. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think about this in the description below. If you want to hire a developer to do these installations for you, let me know. That is what we do in our business. It's our speciality is to install this type of software for our clients on your own server, and then we'll make sure that the server is the right size, it's optimized properly for the software to operate, and then we will make sure we install your custom domain for you over there, because you don't want to be accessing this like that. Make sure we install for you an SSL certificate so that everything looks good and you've got your own CRM. You're going to pay for it once off and then it's done and you have it for the rest of your life. Perhaps future updates they will charge you for, but I think you can run this for like a good 2-3 years before you need an update. And yeah, so let me know what you think, and we'll see you guys again next week with some amazing web development tips and knowledge for your business.